Hi guys, so I'm here with another baby name video for you today, and this one is going to be on girls' names that were originally boys' names that you would never expect to have been boys' names because they are completely 100% girls' names now. A lot of these were boys' names at the start of the 20th century, and it's just interesting to think about maybe in 100 years from now names like Charlie or Taylor that have been used for boys but are now being used for girls will be completely 100% girls' names because that's kind of what happened with these. So the first name I have is Vivian, and some of you might know that Vivian is one of my favorite names for girls. But Vivian was originally a masculine name, and it's a Latin name that means life. It was given to boys in America throughout the early 20th century, and in 1898 it was actually at number 472 on the popularity chart, so it was pretty popular for boys. And it didn't completely drop off the popularity charts for boys until 1934. The next name I have is Ashley, and some of you might know that Ashley was a male name because of the character Ashley from Gone with the Wind. And Ashley is an English name that means dweller near the ash tree meadow. And Ashley was used as a boy's name long before it was used on girls. It didn't completely drop out of the top 1,000 for boys until 1994. So there are boys out there in the US called Ashley who are 17 years old. That's kind of crazy. And it peaked in popularity in 1981. So yeah, that's crazy. 1981, that's not that long ago. And it was at number 294 then. The next name I have is actually my grandma's name, and that's Evelyn. And Evelyn is an English name that means beautiful bird, and this is a popular girl's name now, but it was occasionally given to boys in the early 1900s. The highest it ever reached in popularity was 787 in 1907. And it went out of style for boys in the 1920s, and it was number 961 on the charts in 1930, but since then it hasn't been in the top 1,000 for boys. The next one I have is Beverly, and Beverly is an English name also that means dweller near the beaver stream. Kind of an interesting meaning. Beverly was given as a male name until the mid-1950s, and the highest it ever reached was 489 in 1884. So again, pretty popular, and Beverly I definitely think of as completely feminine. The next name I have is Lindsay, and this one again is completely feminine to me. This is also an English name, and it means from the lake settlement island. Lindsay was given as a male name until 1985 actually. It dropped out of the top 1,000. And in 1897 it was at 397, so back over 100 years ago it was pretty popular for boys. The next one I have is the one on this list that I can definitely see still being a male name, or kind of coming back for males because of a character in a popular book series, and that is Gayle. And Gayle is a short form of Abigail, which is a Hebrew name that means my father rejoices. Abigail's a very popular girl's name right now, but Gayle isn't so popular. Gayle was in the top 1,000 male names until 1962, and it was most popular in 1936 when it was ranked at number 367. And the variant spelling G-A-L-E was used by Suzanne Collins in the Hunger Games trilogy, so I could see it making a comeback with that spelling for boys. The next one I have is Ariel, and before The Little Mermaid, Ariel was a boy's name. It's a Hebrew name that means Lion of God, and in 2010 it was still in the top 1,000 for boys, which is crazy. It was at number 604. I don't know if I would personally recommend naming a little boy Ariel just because of The Little Mermaid, but apparently it's still being used, and it was most popular in 1991, which I think was after The Little Mermaid came out, and it was at number 360. The next one I have is Meredith, and Meredith is a Welsh name that means great ruler, and it has primarily been used for girls, but it was also given as a boy's name, and it was most popular in 1941 when it was at number 582 for boys. The next one is Dana, and Dana is an English name that means from Denmark. And Dana is a unisex name, but most people consider it a girl's name because it does end with a sound that is so popular for girls' names. And it was in the top 1,000 for boys until 1997, and it was most popular for boys in 1962 when it was at number 172, so that's pretty popular. The last name I have is one that I love for girls and I consider completely a girl's name, and that is Lucy. And Lucy is an English name that means light. And it was rarely used for boys in the late 19th and early 20th century, but it still was used for boys. And since the Social Security records only go back to 1880, we don't really have the popularity before then. But from 1880 to 1906, it was in the top 1,000 for boys' names 4 times only, but the highest it was ranked was 823 in 1901. So it was more popular for boys, I think, before 1880, but we don't have the data from back then. So those are some girls' names that were originally boys' names. Some of them were very surprising to me and maybe to you as well. If you have any other ones that you would like to share, I'd love to hear them. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I will talk to you later.